huge role, especially if the game goes into those later stages.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome you into the drafting phase of the first game of the Classical Derby. RRQ, blue side, EVOS, red side. Kadita already banned out here, as well as the Joy. And talking about the bans, I want to know what happens if Versik is not given Baxia and the Fredrin. What if it gets taken away from him? What if they respect ban it out here in the first phase?
Well, there's only one thing I have to say to Arashi if that happens. Arashi, your sister team is playing today. God bless you.
Nah, bro, God bless you.
God did.
God did.
God did.
God did.
And we'll see if God blesses RRQ or EVOS, or maybe both, make it an equal match here. Joy and Ling banned out. They're trying to target Taz, that killing pressure that he has.
Meanwhile, for EVOS, though, they're banning away the Kadira, so it's a good flex pick. And knowing that now Clay has been more comfortable playing on these aggressive heroes, these pickup heroes as well, him on the Kadira is surprisingly, considering how he's been playing these artillery heroes, has been surprisingly dangerous. So I think it's a great move from Coach Age to respect Clay and his pickup potential.
I agree, and in conjunction to the kill pressure that Naomi has and his pickup, the way that it just goes in hand, that's something to be feared. And here it is, finally, Baxia being taken out. We saw RRQ just steamroll over their enemies in the early game with the Baxia in the hands of Versik. Without it, will he pick up something like the Fredrin here in the first phase to be able to flex? Or does he have something else in store? That's the main question here.
Well, in a way, right, his situation is quite similar to Celiboy, I must say. They used to be very high mechanical assassin players, but they're prone to overextending, prone to getting caught. So, in a way, they have the same exact solution. Put that player on a tanky, aggressive fighter. Baxia and Fredrin is usually the options that Versik goes for, but without those, I think it puts Martis in the question, but Martis is definitely not as safe or as not as safe or as foolproof as the Baxia or Fredrin.
Most definitely. I think if you tell Omawa that, he will disagree. He thinks Bak or Martis is the best,
the strongest
in the early game. Well, I can't really deny that. We have seen even Taz pull that off and absolutely made it work, even at MSC. Now, we'll see final ban is the Claude. Yeah, I think both of these teams have done their homework. This is a battle of the two teams' pride. Zaya taking Taz's heroes out. Meanwhile, Age going for a little bit of a more multi-dimensional route. 3 prio picks, 3 taken out. Now, Skylar, there's a comment from him. There's still many heroes I can play besides Claude. I'm not worried about respect bans because I'm ready with other marksmen besides Claude. Yes, Beatrix.
Ooh. All right, just getting called out just like that by Mirko. But we've been talking about how the win condition involves RRQ picking one of the really meta marksmen. But now it turns out the first pick is going to be that Paquito. Very high in the pick rate, very high in the win rate as well. In the hands of Banana, it's definitely a huge problem. And unfortunately, Fluffy, who likes the Paquito, he won't be allowed to get his hands on this boxing prodigy.
Definitely, and it's also a high flex coming in from RRQ. It could be placed in several different lanes. EVOS Legends, how are they going to respond to this? Do you think they're going to go for a Valentina, perhaps, taking away from Clay, giving Hijume a comfort hero as well?
And Kaja.
Kaja. So Kaja, Valentina.
Yeah. I think the Valentina Kaja here would work for EVOS Legends unless they want to just see what RQ wants to go for first.
Wow.
Yeah, so they go for the Beatrix and the Yves now. They want to see if RQ want to take up the Franco or the Kaja. Then they can respond it over with something like an Atlas or a Kufra. It's something to counter, something to go up against the 2 pick-off heroes that RQ have found so much success on.
Let's take a look at this comment here by Kabe. I predict RQ will win it 2-1 against EVOS, seeing Versik fired up and seeking redemption yesterday. I want to see his expression facing his former team EVOS. And we saw on the poster, right? Versik facing his ex.
Ex-team.
Legit ex, yeah.
Yeah, legit indeed.
He moved on quick.
Real quick, buddy, but for EVOS right now, securing the backline, that's a great move, but it also opens up the potential for RRQ to counter it. Get all these dive heroes, maybe a Terizla, maybe Yu Zhong, or even an assassin to help with the backline. Turns out they want to match EVOS in that artillery department, and they're going for an equally solid front to back, but the carry is less flexible, less reliable than the Beatrix, I must say.
Yeah, no suppress for them here for RRQ to counter the Eve. Very valiant, very bold picks here in the carry as well as the Farsa and EVOS Legends. They have all the time in the world to look for that counterplay.
They can always just pick up the Kaja now, right? Secure a hero, deny it away from Naomi. Another weapon in RRQ's arsenal that has been utilized very well by Xayah. But with this carry pick, this is also one of the doubts that has been lingering for RRQ this season. What will happen if Skylar doesn't get Claude or Beatrix? Denied away and banned out. No Beatrix, no Claude. You see this carry, and as predicted, the Kaja comes in. Now, it's in Age's, the ball is in Age's court. He can now ban out the Kufra and maybe even the Franco from Naomi.
If it goes down to that, it means that EVOS will have the huge, overwhelming advantage when it comes to pickoffs, right? They can slow someone down with the Eve, use the real-world manipulation, and then secure it with the Divine Judgment as well. For RRQ, this means that they require some kind of crowd control immunity or tankiness to sustain through all the burst attempts from EVOS in order to turn it around. The pick that comes to mind is a Grok, but at this point, I don't think Coach Age will let it slide, but no, initially it's gonna be this Kufra first.
What about Atlas?
For Naomi,
Yeah,
it's definitely a pick that would work against a Beatrix.
I think it's an option.
It is an option, but it's, I don't know, up against the Kaja, this matchup, right? I think it's very skill dependent. It's a skill diff. It's a skill matchup. If the Kaja goes for the engage first and the Atlas gets bursted down by the Beatrix, it's done.
I don't doubt Naomi though. That's a problem, right?
What about the Natalia this game? I think it's a bit too risky.
Against a Divine Judgment, it's definitely a risky maneuver. But for RRQ, the same problem still stands. Against a Beatrix and a Kaja, it's essentially the same combo as a Franco Beatrix. It means that anyone gets hooked, gets hit with that ultimate, so someone needs to be able to sustain through that. But they're the ones banning away the Terizla, wanting to make sure that EVOS doesn't get to dive in the back line. This might also mean that they are set on putting this Paquito in the EXP lane. So knowing that, EVOS, they can still ban out this Fredrin to ensure that Fairsec is being put in a very uncomfortable situation.
I like that. I like that you pointed out the Fredrin because I was about to say that as well. Right now, going for a roamer ban would work, but I think the Fredrin just gives them so much more room to play with. You've already said it, RRQ, they play through the trio mid, and they need an independent jungler who can clear fast and have CC to set up. But it is still the Franco. The first prediction from me, they are still respecting Naomi a bit more, and they think without that mobility, it's all good. Fredrin has lockdown, but it's not a Baxia.
Not a Baxia, but without any suppression, this also means that EVOS potentially might be using an assassin, right? There's nothing wrong with Taz being on an assassin, with the Fanny and Ling being banned out, as well as the Joy. A lot of focus here on denying assassins with the vulnerable backline. There's still the Lancelot to be played around with, can be built hybrid as well. Plenty of flexibility in that pick, which is usually what Coach Age really enjoys having in his composition. For RRQ though, gonna be that Uranus denied away from the hands of Fluffy.
Yeah, they're still sticking to the EXP lanes here. If the Paquito is placed there, it is going to give them a bit of a better time in that matchup. So this leaves a few options. Since Joy was taken away, Martis, Bane, and Fredrin, these are the three heroes that I feel could be contested, as well as the Lancelot that you mentioned earlier. Do they want to leave it to flex later on, or do they want to pick it up now, is the question.
There's the
and the answer is Akai.
Oh, wow.
I really forgot.
This is beautiful, and this is, well, it's not a flex pick anymore with the Kanja picked up. It's going to Fluffy's hands. Arrival Akai.
Wow. I can't believe I'm seeing it yet again, but hey, in a weird way, it does work. And with if this is going to be an Akai in the EXP lane, there's still the Hayabusa, which in the right hands is definitely a huge problem, especially with both teams having such vulnerable backliners. For RRQ right now, it's the moment of truth. They need a front line, they need some crowd control, a lot of issues here that they haven't solved in the drafting phase.
What do they go for? What would they choose for Naomi here? What's left?
The Grok is available, funny
Grok,
enough.
Atlas, Martis.
Confirm. You should.
Okay, Grok, Fredrin
All right.
is their choice here.
So Fredrin, in a way, against this team where the damage isn't exactly full burst, there's a chance for the Appraiser's Wrath to come in really handy in the later stages of the engagements, but against the Divine Judgment, it's definitely still a huge risk. No one can come in and save him if that even comes to play. for EVOS right here. Are they finally going to expose if this is indeed a rival Akai?
I think now, with a lot of CC from RRQ, EVOS already have a lot of damage. What they don't have is an executor. Martis. It's a good choice to go for, but they're hovering over Helkert. First Helkert pick in MPL Indonesia Season 12. Yes, it's going to be locked in here. He's already hovering over it. Oh, they're teasing us. They're teasing us.
Wait a minute.
Oh, it's locked in.
All
Helkert.
right.
And now I'm going to enjoy this match. Ladies and gentlemen, the debut of Helkert here. Let's see if it's gonna work out. I like experimental. This is something that we could expect coming in from Coach Age himself. The question is it gonna work? Helkert.
I think funny enough, it's gonna depend on the movement of the, back to the main point, the initial triple mid lane situation here. Whoever has the advantage, whoever has the bush control, the superior setup will have a bit more of an advantage because Helkert is still vulnerable. So is Kaja, depending on whether or not they are the ones walking into that bush. So I think tempo becomes a big question for both these teams right here.
I agree. Tempo, vision is also going to play a huge factor. Helkert has the kill pressure, but his animation of his kills, it's so slow. You can actually dodge out of it. So once again, a matchup. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first game of the Classical Derby Leg 1. RRQ going against EVOS Legends here. Let's see if the Helkert is going to work out. But again, the tease. It's always the tease.
It's okay. It's okay. It gives us time to dissect the emblems. It gives us time to set more hype. Make it a bit more tense for you guys back at home. We were teased for the Helkert pick. Now let's tease them for the game. But, all right. Let's talk about focusing Mark on Grok. That's what Naomi went for.
I noticed that as well. It seems like he is still very much intent, not on being a survival frontline Grok like Maloyski. He wants to go aggressive and get these pickoffs for sure. The barrier, by the way, can still be a huge tool here, considering that a lot of the members from EVOS can't really jump over it. But for the most part, I think it's going to look to be very aggressive, help with wave clear, and supplement that rotation, like we were discussing for Clay. Whereas, on the other hand, I think there was a weakness finder in the hands of the carry, in the hands of Skylar.
That one was, that is intriguing. Definitely intriguing. We usually see the quantum charge on a hero like carry who needs that extra mobility, extra sustain, especially considering he's up against a Beatrix. Maybe it's a lack of lockdown. Usually when you see a carry, it's either paired up with a Franco or a Kaja. To have someone just nail down, suppressed as he goes for the free hits. Now without that, you might need to do it yourself. You would have a corrosion sight, now the weakness finder as well. Slow them even more, slow them even harder. But this will definitely hurt Skylar in the laning phase, I believe. The Beatrix will have much more mobility, much more room to play around Skylar and may be able to maneuver better in these skirmishes, in these duels.
And it's already bad because that's a losing matchup.
Yeah.
Carry's super weak in the early game. Let's see if it's gonna pay off as once again we'll welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to the land of Dawn. And here it is. Finally we get to see the Classical Derby on such different terms unfold before our very eyes. Naomi, actually, he's gonna clear this mid side.
Ooh, potentially trying to go for a faster level 4. That could be what they're looking for. Brands was able to leash the jungle clear for Taz on that Helkert, helping with the vulnerable early game, but now Naomi shoos Dreams away. As we mentioned, Dreams is just so annoying, so aggressive and active, especially when the game just begins, trying to find more options for his team. Looking at the rest of the emblems though, you can see the Weapon Master on the hands of Clay, so he is looking to do serious damage the longer the game goes in.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Why we saw that the emblem choice coming in from Naomi is that way. The reason is the mobility in the early game already is really great from the Farsa. If they get the proper pickoff, it can translate onto more pressure and give more space. But look at this, Dreams, Hijime Taz, they don't care. They're going in for an invade, it looks like.
Forcing a retry out, Fairsick clears it out, still able to time it perfectly for the turtle. That's going to be spawning in 28 seconds. In-game equipment by Dunya Games, Arashi.
Well, the equipment hasn't seen say much so far, but the choice of boots just shows you, right? Naomi wants to be in the front. He needs to withstand all these crowd control tools that EVOS has. On the other hand, by the way, Fairsick was able to secure the gold buff, so already a small victory. But here, with the first turtle coming
Whoa.
up. Now you can see what focus is what is the focus, because Fluffy has a rival to the top side. Wait, he won't be there for the turtle fight.
Yeah, he's putting pressure onto Skylar instead. Looking for that trade. RRQ should have the space to get this without contest. Dreams only opening up vision here, giving information for his team, but there you go. RRQ, a small win here in the early phase.
Oh, very interesting move there from EVOS Legends. Let's take a look at the tower prediction by Samsung Galaxy S23 Series 5G. Only me and Mr. Polong is gone for EVOS Legends here. But let's backtrack a bit. Arrival up top, I thought it was to deny the minions here, just to zone Skylar away, but the lane was shoved in by Brents, yeah? So Skylar didn't really lose much.
Yeah, it didn't really achieve as much as we would expect that Arrival spell. I mean, it's a very costly investment, right? Bringing an Arrival, so you don't have a flicker, you don't have any other tools, and Fluffy on the bot side fails to initiate a play. They seem to be okay with it though. But in the mid lane, this is where it gets a bit dicey here. Who gets the first pick off? That is the main question. Naomi goes in.
Wild Charge gonna be able to lock him out. First blood. RRQ strikes first in this game. EVOS Legends very slow to react.
There you go, the synergy, right, between Naomi as well as Clay.
Oh.
That initiation of Brands needs to be careful. Naomi's damage!
That's a flicker in by Clay! And it's a secure. Brands got really thirsty for that solo kill, flickered forward and paid the price.
He was very close though, right? And if he was able to get that kill, that would prevent Skylar from popping off even further. But now RRQ with a 1,100 gold lead.
Is that the weakness finder? Finding value, slowing him down so he can't secure that kill? Might just be. Whatever it is, for now, it seems like RRQ still has that tempo. And that's what you come to expect, right? Pakiro in the side lane. Carry 1v1 is deceptively high damage, actually. And in the mid lane, Afarsa and Fredrin is usually already such a huge problem. And now with the addition of a Grok, it's definitely a big issue. And Dreams now gets jumped on yet again.
Wild Charge taunt. And the damage, the collapse. Oh, and Hijuman taken low. Forced to back away. No regen and no chance to fight out in the turtle.
Does Naomi ever miss? If he's on the Kaja, Franco, Grok now. What was that pick coming in? And that just is the perfect timing as well for RRQ to secure that turtle once again. 2 already in the pockets of RRQ.
It comes down to the clearing again. Because in the mid lane, you can see Hijume is struggling so much to match the clear coming from Clay as well as Naomi, right? The power of nature is such a underrated wave clear tool. Looking at the items right now, Demon Hunter Sword finished for Taz, so bit of a spike in damage. But Skylar also has the corrosion side, so he is going to be a lot harder to chase. And if you're getting all in, it's going to be a lot harder for you to escape. So 1v1, if Brents falls even further behind, this could be a very easy solo kill lane for Skylar.
Wait, for a minute I forgot Taz existed. He's on the Hellcurt. Not too active on the map just yet. No pickoffs just yet. What's the game plan here for Taz?
One big fight is the game plan right now. Good silence, wow. Takes Naomi out instantaneously, right with the Divine Judgment to lock him down. See, EVOS Legends, they are specialists at pickoffs with this composition. RRQ do better in these team fights. So it's all about who executes better.
Well, keep in mind as well, right now, there's a pickoff for EVOS, but there's nothing on the map.
Yep.
Whereas when RRQ went for that pickoff, they were able to get turtles, towers, solo kill pickoffs, shutting down Brents as well. And now, look at that. First tower has fallen, and RRQ, with more ground, with more control around these objectives, they can look for more pickoffs.
Well, Fluffy's gonna get engaged on now. Banana giving some damage. Fluffy, wow, first item immortality here. He's gonna look for some big engages later on. And that might be the reason for the immortality first item. He knows he's gonna dive deep inside of RRQ's front-to-back composition.
Still though, picking up that item so early on definitely raises a bit of few eyebrows for sure. Fluffy though has just recalled with the turtle popping up, so he has the arrival to make plays with, but he is not going to the opposite side of the map. He is moving down the mid lane.
Yeah, he wants to go in for the all-in.
Divine Judgment, Nibiru's Passion, Real World Manipulation into the Stinger, coming down. Now the heavy spin locking Naomi down as the Real World Manipulation does its work. For the airstrike canceled out, Dreams gonna be able to put that ring down, but now is gonna be slain by Clay, who picks up a killing spree. 2 for 1 in favor of EVO. So, Brands looking for that one last snipe but Clay is able to evade from it, flaps his wings, and gets away.
All right, that's a good trade for EVOS Legends. But even then, it doesn't look like they're looking to secure any objectives. They had the option to do so, but Taz was so far up in the top side, looking for perhaps a push onto that top tower, and they're not gonna get a turtle for it.
The issue for EVOS right now is also the lack of damage, right? The turtle is getting taken so slow. If they don't really go for it immediately, it's going to be very difficult. And Naomi now is looking for a chance, but he gets pulled instead.
Bennett's rage, wow, that burst, the pickoff. EVOS are taking it very slow. Now they have a man advantage, no real initiation tool. Hijime poked down, heavy spin, baited out. RRQ, they get a small little win here as they take control back of the turtle.
But wait a minute, they're still centering around it. For the second time, it does get resetted earlier on by Naomi, and now it's going to be resetted once again. RRQ, it looks like they want to contest it, and EVOS Legends, they're just retreating. No fight whatsoever.
Well, Brands is forced to go in the top side to clear that wave, and shows you again, RRQ, high-tempo gameplay, but the macro game is still very much in consideration. Right now, they are forcing the arrival onto the tower in the bot side. Fluffy will get chunked down, but for RRQ, getting the turtle is already such a huge win. And the timing of everything just falls into play so well.
And Brands didn't even get the tower in the top lane. Man, Banana was already there. He knew what Brands was trying to do. Skylar gets more damage on the turret in the bottom side. Just a little bit of a nudge, and it's going to fall for RRQ. They're winning it out on all trades, but Taz goes in for a play.
Dark Knight falls, it's only all to distract here as Brands picks the turret up. No, he doesn't! Good feather airstrike and good zone from Fiersick. Banana is lingering around that topside river, and EVOS Legends are forced back.
Look at the pressure of this Paquito though. The top turret is once again taking a beating from the minions without RRQ needing to do anything. It's all Banana just having the preemptive maneuvers. Brands is once again pulled away, and this could be a chance for RRQ to go for a fight, but they're just waiting. They have no issue just farming up and going for the plays only when there's an objective that they are really gunning for.
So we finally see Hellcurt being put in here at MPL ID Season 12, but so far, we haven't really seen the impact of the Hellcurt pick, Arashi.
He hasn't been able to secure any real pickoffs. The ultimate is great, but when your team is coordinated, it might be a bit too idealistic to assume that they're going to panic from the Darkness Fall, but look at that.
Heavy spin coming down, Taz diving deep in the back line. Fiersick isolated and taken out. 26 seconds for the Lord, they still have time. Dream stunned up now, no Divine Judgment. Skylar locks him down, takes him out. Brands is looking to deal some more damage. Roamer for jungler.
Well, again, they used everything. They secured the jungler, but the Lord isn't up yet. They finally get a turret, but look at that, Banana!
Oh, forcing that flicker out from Brands, a massive resource. 115 seconds on that cooldown, and it gives RRQ the right amount of time, right amount of space to now pressure the Lord.
Yeah, Fiersick is now back up into the land of Dawn, so despite the pick, that should have been worth it for EVOS Legends. The timing just wasn't really right. Fiersick is already near, ready to go in for that 50-50. Let's see their levels. Fiersick 12. Taz is actually 13, so Taz should have an advantage when it comes down to this. It really depends on how the rest of the members go for this. Are they going to go for CC perhaps onto Taz? But I don't know if they know where he is just yet.
Not right now, but Dreams is looking for that ring. Coming down, Bennett's Rage and a Divine Judgment. Locking him down, but he has that immortality. Now it's all out. Fluffy in the midst of it all. Now pops in a heavy spin, but Dreams loses his life. Fluffy forced to run away. Naomi unable to chase him down right now, but Banana in the midst of it all, he flickers out and he gets the safety. RWM now onto Clay, still able to fly out. Ferrising with a flank. Going in, taunting Hijime out. Brands is all alone. He let himself be in that position, and Skylar takes him out. Shutdown for Skylar.
A bit of an overcommit by Brands. You cannot put yourself in that kind of situation, buddy. Two members down right here, and RRQ with relatively healthy HP bars seem to be going for it. They need to rush though, because the top lane is pushing.
Hijime taken out. Skylar with a killing spree. He's hitting that item power spike, and it's a big power spike for RRQ. 11 minutes in, First Lord over to the Kings of Kings.
You guys were talking about blessings earlier on before this match even begun. Let's talk about RRQ's blessings just now. EVOS went in for a pick. They weren't even able to get it. Dreams gets caught behind the wall that was placed by Naomi. Gets picked off, and the rest is history as Dreams goes in once again.
He pulls Piercing out of the Bennett's range, but Taz in the back. Wow, that damage, forcing over to nature. Taz takes Naomi out of the back, Banana! Oof! With a kill. He's a boxer, but he's also an assassin. Now Taz jumps forward, Banana gets out, takes some damage, but he is able to maneuver out of that place. 1 for 1, Roamer for gold.
And that's PBB for you.
PBB.
Paquito Banana Bless.
Paquito Banana Blast. That's a mouthful to turn up, but he was able to go in really aggressively there. And I think, I might be wrong here, but I think Skylar might have been saved by the heavy spin earlier. We saw that Taz was jumping on him as well, but Fluffy was pushing him away from that situation. Whatever the result is, now with the Lord coming in, RRQ are extending their lead, extending their domination, going for all the other structures on the map. And now with no turrets outside their base, EVOS, they are looking to get caged inside their own safe space.
Yeah, I felt like their resources didn't really synergize too well with one another. The other thing that you mentioned, and the other thing that Mirko mentioned as well, was Brand's. His ultimate, it didn't connect because of Dreams going in for his. Unfortunate. It could have been a really good pickoff onto Fursic, but I don't know. I guess that's what happens when you have a lot of heavy CCs that causes displacement. Sometimes it just doesn't work out the way that you intended to.
And by the way, on the note of the arrival, Fluffy has just used it again, and it seems like the main use of it is to deny damage on the turrets, which is an interesting strategy, but at this point, if you're this far behind, is saving a single turret what you want to do compared to like getting a massive flicker engage with a heavy spin? I'm not quite sure if I agree with this selection, but on the damage dealt, Clay is all the way up there, even more than Hijime, so he is definitely also one of the main targets, but with two different types of damage and two really far apart heroes for the side of RRQ, EVOS, they're struggling to find something.
Heavy spin, Taz able to secure. Oh, Banana brings Fluffy back into the Feather Airstrike zone. That real world manipulation was very far-fetched. EVOS Legends now, they've lost a lot of their resources to just defend, to just get through. And that purple buff is taken. Taz, is he even? Has he hit his power spike, right? Taz on the Hellcurt. Counter-Strike, Blade Heptases, DHS, Melfic Roar. Is that enough for Rashi?
It was level 15, and he was able to almost one-shot Banana, so there's definitely power there, but can he output the damage to the right people at the right time? EVOS go for it though, it's Banana!
Divine Judgment, Brand's now gunning him down. The suppression is enough now with no Banana. They don't need to care about the side lane, but RRQ. Skylar is on this Lord. EVOS, I don't think they can make it in time unless Fluffy makes a miracle play. Render's apathy, Taz jumping in, Clay with a flicker out. Oh, he's winning it! Taz runs into winter! Truncheon by Clay. He buys enough time. RRQ, they secure the Lord, but they lose out in the team fight. Brand's now looking for Naomi. Immortality gonna be popped, Skylar gonna be zoned, and Naomi falls. EVOS Legends are looking for more. Skylar forces a flicker, RWM from Hijime. Skylar is burning. He's still able to survive. Versick now loses his immortality as Brands guns him and takes him out.
Oh no, 4 members are gone from the side of RQ. Skylar, Banana finally gets back into the Land of Dawn, but that nearly was a disaster for RRQ. The instant turnaround coming in from EVOS Legends as they make their way to get that turret in the mid side. That top lane is going to fall as well into the hands of Taz, and now things are a little bit more even in the Land of Dawn. What was that gold lead? It shrunk to only 1.9k.
Oh, what a chain of events right there. One single pickoff, and EVOS just went all in for it. They know they haven't been able to get the upper hand, the proactive moves. And there they know that with a man advantage, with the slows, with the movement speed coming in from the Hellcurt, they can just go all in and chase down the members of RRQ. With that happening once already, RRQ now will have a newfound respect for the chase potential for EVOS, and that means they must play a lot more careful. Banana needs to be more aware of the situation on the map, lest he gets picked off yet again.
But how intense was that? You hate to love to see it, right? The outplays coming in from both of the teams. The fact that Clay was able to survive that long as a Farsa against a Hellcurt, that shouldn't be legal. But look at this, a little bit more space coming in for EVOS. They're going in for more.
Naomi's pin, the taunt is able to bring Fluffy back in now. He loses his immortality. The RW was placed down. Fluffy's gonna be able to escape right now. It's gonna be his passion. It's popped in by Brands. Banana with a kill in the back, but look at the base, wide open. My goodness, Dark Knight falls.
Oh!
Running around now, Clay's looking for the kill. Flickers forward, Taz has the immortality, 1 HP now. They're still looking for him. Taz jumping back and forth. Immortality still there, popped in, and he will be shut down by Clay.
Oof, wow. Back and forth endeavor, but the bottom lane is getting pushed, and Naomi will be tasked to clear it up. But for RRQ, this is the RRQ we are used to, man. Just back and forth, not giving up an inch wherever it's possible. With 2 members down right here, there's going to be 5 seconds available for Taz to make it to the Lord. And while doing so, it means RRQ will have a huge setup advantage. As whoa, look at that burst damage. Feather Airstrike is definitely ramping up.
Banana's nasty, right? Banana's nasty. There's so much
No, I love Banana.
burst. Yeah, we all
Potassium.
love
Oh, you
Banana,
mean,
but
yeah, I
like
mean,
in a nasty
yes.
way. Like it's so good, and it becomes so nasty if he's not on your team. If
right.
Banana's given a signature hero like the Paquito, this is what happens. Look at the pressure that he has on the back line. How is Bron supposed to deal that much damage if Banana isn't taken out first, like we saw earlier on? So there's a little bit more homework here for Dreams, for, I would say, Taz as well, to try pick up Banana before this goes out, because Brands needs a space, man. He needs a space to deal the damage.
Raise a position. Good knockout
Whoa.
strike. Wow, great escape from RRQ. No conceal and no heavy spin. 2 big resources used up by EVOS. Banana jumping back in. Dreams has a Divine Judgment. Not going to go for it just yet for the airstrike. Going to be able to zone Brands away. Flicker defensively by Dreams. Look at the flanks. Naomi is looking for it with Skylar. Meanwhile, down below, Hellcurt is waiting for his time. Fluffy moving forward, going to lose a lot of HP. Dark Knight falls! Taz! In the back, finds the flank of his life. 3 members down for RRQ.
Make that another one. Naomi gets chased down by Brands. He's gonna get taken down as well.
Look at
Banana.
the timers.
Banana against the world. I don't think it's possible, man. EVOS, they
Is
make
it?
their move right here. Their rival even, to deny the wave clear.
Silence down, solo 1v4. He buys the winner truncheon in time, but it's only to delay the inevitable. EVOS Legends, the comeback legends. 1 minion as the mini waves gets cleared out. 1-0.
EVOS Legends lead the series in this best of 3 against RRQ. That should have been their game to lose. RRQ played it perfectly. They collapsed kills for objectives. They controlled the early game. Turtles fell to the